subscribe and click the bell icon to turn on notifications.
Hi, and welcome back to the Introduction to R course. This is Module 6, Video 1, and we are looking at arrays in this module, and we'll start off with a general introduction to arrays and how to create them. First, thinking about arrays are also multidimensional objects, so I thought it would be convenient to compare what the difference between an array is compared to a matrix. I have created a Venn diagram here that goes through the differences and similarities between matrices and arrays. Just went over matrices. They are two-dimensional objects in a table-like structure. They have multiple equal-length vectors that are stacked together in a table. They are just a subset of arrays. So all matrices are arrays, but not all arrays are matrices. And they have a wide range of collection operations that are possible with them, and they are intended for data transformation. They are also easily converted into CSVs or data frames. For arrays, we talked about how matrices, those are two-dimensional. Well, arrays, they are at least one to multiple dimensions. They are a singular vector arranged into the specified dimensions. They are a superset of matrices. Just like matrices are a subset of arrays, arrays form the entire gamut all around matrices because they can be one-dimensional, two-dimensional, which are matrices, and then three and above, which go well beyond what a matrix is. And there are a limited set of collection-based operations that you can perform with arrays, and it's really intended for data storage. So looking at arrays and matrices, the big difference is that arrays have a lot of matrices, or they are just a vector. Now, they are similar in the fact that they are both homogeneous data structures. All of their objects have to be the same data type. They are both iterable, meaning that if you are using some type of loop, which we will talk about loops in a later module, they can be iterated upon, or we can look at each individual piece by themselves throughout the data set. So if you think about a matrix, we have two dimensions, so we have rows and we have columns, and each object within those rows and columns can then be called and used by itself rather than just looking at the matrix as a whole. They are also both built in, so these are built into R. You don't need a package to use either of these data structures. Now we're going to transition over into R, where we actually create our first array. To create our first array, we're going to look at just the basic one-dimensional array, which is a vector. If we create a vector that goes from 1 to 24, and we place it into the function array, which is how we create arrays, we can assign that to a uni-array, meaning just one dimension, a unidimensional array. We can then find that it looks exactly like a vector. Next, we're going to use a two-dimensional array. So we're going to place the function array, use our same vector here that we used up before, and then specify the dimensions. Unlike matrix, we have an additional dimension that we have to include for our array. That is the last one there. We want just one to specify that it's a matrix and just has two dimensions rather than three or more. So we're going to look at that, and we see that we have a matrix here. However, it says up here, it's got this blank, blank 1, which if you remember how we called different rows and columns before, those blanks are for rows and columns. And then our third one here is for the matrix itself. So we can now call an entire matrix and have multiple matrices all in the same data structure. Next, we're going to look at the three-dimensional array, which now uses another separate matrix. So this is our three-dimensional array. We have two dimensions here with this matrix, and now we have two matrices to be called. We can also change the dimensions of a vector to create an array. So if we just use the function dimensions here, put our vector inside of it, then specify our dimensions that we want, we then see our array has three dimensions, each with their own matrix. That is the introduction to arrays and how to create them. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Hi, and welcome back to the Introduction to R course. This is Module 6, Video 2, and we are talking about how arrays are very similar to matrices. R makes it really easy especially with its built-in functions, because each of these data structures use the same general format in order to call, in order to name, select elements, perform arithmetic, things like that. All of them are very, very similar. So I'm not going to go through specifically each process like I did with matrices, where I'm talking about how to name them, go through the metrics, selecting elements, and all those things in separate videos, because it's almost exactly the same as you would do it for a matrix. The only difference is that you have an additional dimension. You now have 3 dimensions, and you're having to name a matrix as well. I didn't feel that it was necessary to go through the entire thing, so I'm just going to quickly go through it here. I'm creating that same vector that I had before. This time, I'm specifying the names. I've got the row names, column names, and now this new one, matrix names or M names, calling it matrix 1 and matrix 2. I place that into my array function. I get 2 matrices with columns named, rows named, and they're going through each all the way up to 24, exactly as I would expect. Metrics are the same as well. I can look at dimensions and see that it's 4, 3, 2. I can look at the attributes of the array, and I can see that I have a new dimension with the matrices. I have my columns still, my rows still, and the dimensions up here as well. I can also select elements from my array, same way that I would with a matrix. The only difference is now I've got to include which matrix is in. Next, if I would like to perform the arithmetic with matrices that I did last time, I can do that. The only difference is I have to save each matrix into its own variable as a matrix, then I can perform that arithmetic. So really, you're just performing arithmetic with matrices, not the array. You're just using the array as a storage place to hold your matrices, and then you're dividing them out into their own variable to then be able to perform that arithmetic. You can then check to see whether 12 is in your array, just the same way as you would in a matrix. And if I want to modify anything, I can just assign it and call each place. Instead of the names of each of the row, the column, and the matrix, I can use index values here. Same deal. So I like to see I've got 555 on the spot of row A, column 2, matrix 1. That is just how arrays are similar to matrices, and how R keeps it simple and keeps it easy for you by using the same structure for you to be able to do exactly the same things that you would do with a matrix or a vector, and just apply them to an additional dimension. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Hi, and welcome back to the Introduction to R course. This is Module 6, Video 3, and I will be talking about a couple of other operations with arrays that you can also perform with matrices, but I felt this would be more pertinent to arrays. The first function that I would like to talk about is the apply function, which takes a vector, X, a margin, meaning how it would like to be applied, either rows or columns or both, and then the function that is to be applied over the array. This can be a built-in function, or it can be a user-defined function, one that you make on your own, which we'll talk about later on in the course. Here I have that same array that I've been using for the past few videos. I'm going to create that here, and then if I would like to find the sum of each row, I can just use this apply function and easily find the sum of each row. That is how to use an additional operation that I didn't mention with matrices, just because I felt that it could also be well put inside of the array. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next time.
If you're not a subscriber, click down below to subscribe so you get notified about similar videos we upload. To see the full course that this video came from, click over there. And click over there to see more videos from Simon Says It.